Chapter 1, Part 7. Lovell Jr., the celebrated Apollo 13 astronaut, is often attributed with a profound and thought-provoking statement. We don't go to heaven when we die. We go when we are born. While the exact phrasing and origin of this quote can be debated, the sentiment it expresses resonates deeply, offering a unique perspective on life, death, and the very nature of existence. This essay will explore the layers of meaning embedded in this idea, considering its implications for how we perceive our time on Earth and the potential for a more present and appreciative existence. At its core, the quote challenges the conventional understanding of heaven as a post-mortem destination. Instead, it redefines this concept, suggesting that the divine, the ideal, or the truly blessed state is not something we strive for after life, but something we are inherently granted at its very beginning. This perspective shifts the focus from a future reward to a present gift. The moment of birth, with its explosion of senses, its innate potential, and its unblemished innocence, could be interpreted as a form of heaven, a state of pure being, unburdened by past regrets or future anxieties. This reframing encourages a radical appreciation for life itself. If heaven is the act of being born, then every breath, every heartbeat, and every moment lived is a continuation of that initial blessed state. It invites us to view our earthly journey not as a trial to be endured before reaching a true paradise, but as the paradise itself. This isn't to say that life is without suffering or hardship. Rather, it suggests that even within these challenges, the fundamental miracle of existence remains. It's about recognizing the inherent value and wonder in simply being, a truth that often gets obscured by the complexities and demands of modern life. Furthermore, the quote subtly critiques the tendency to defer happiness and fulfillment to an imagined future. How often do we hear people say, "I'll be happy when," or "my life will truly begin after"? This mindset can lead to a perpetual state of longing, where the present moment is merely a stepping stone to something better. Lovell's purported statement disrupts this pattern by asserting that the better is already here, embedded in the very fabric of our lives from the outset. It's a call to embrace the now, to find joy in the mundane, and to recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. However, interpreting this quote also prompts reflection on responsibility. If we are born into heaven, what then is our role in maintaining or appreciating that state? It implies that our journey through life is not about earning salvation, but perhaps about preserving and honoring the inherent gift we've been given. This could manifest as living authentically, fostering meaningful connections, contributing positively to the world, and cultivating a sense of gratitude. The challenges we face in this light might not be punishments, but opportunities to deepen our understanding and appreciation of this earthly heaven. In conclusion, the idea attributed to Jim Lovell that we don't go to heaven when we die, we go when we are born, is a powerful philosophical statement that transcends simple religious dogma. It offers a profound reorientation of our perspective on life and death. By suggesting that the blessed state is our birthright, it encourages us to live with greater awareness, gratitude, and presence. It reminds us that the miraculous isn't reserved for some distant afterlife, but is interwoven into the very fabric of our existence from the moment we draw our first breath. Perhaps by embracing this perspective, we can unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment and truly experience the heaven that is already ours. The Eternal Dialogue, Finding Purpose in the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to as the Gita, is not merely a Hindu scripture, but a universal discourse on the fundamental dilemmas of human existence. It's an eternal story resonating across millennia because it tackles questions that remain perennially relevant: duty versus desire, the nature of self, the path to peace, and the very purpose of life. At its heart, the Gita is a conversation between Lord Krishna, an incarnation of Vishnu, and Arjuna, a Pandava prince, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna, overwhelmed by the prospect of fighting his own kin, collapses in despair, refusing to participate in the war. This moment of profound crisis, where personal affection clashes with righteous duty, forms the crucible in which Krishna delivers his timeless wisdom. Krishna's counsel begins by gently urging Arjuna to understand the impermanence of the body and the eternal nature of the soul. He introduces the concept of Atman, the individual soul, and Brahman, the universal spirit, emphasizing that true identity lies beyond the transient physical form. This profound philosophical insight immediately elevates the narrative from a mere battlefield dilemma to a spiritual awakening. From this foundation, the Gita unfolds various paths to liberation, known as yogas. Karma yoga, the path of action without attachment to its fruits, is perhaps the most practical and widely applicable. Krishna advises Arjuna to perform his duty, dharma, with dedication, but to relinquish the desire for specific outcomes. This detachment, he explains, frees one from the cycle of endless striving and suffering. This teaching is remarkably modern, addressing the anxieties of a performance-driven world where outcomes often dictate self-worth. Beyond action, the Gita explores bhakti yoga, the path of devotion. Krishna reveals himself in his cosmic form, awe-inspiring and terrifying, to show Arjuna the omnipresent nature of the divine. He assures Arjuna that sincere devotion, regardless of one's background or past deeds, is a sure way to attain liberation. This emphasis on love and surrender to a higher power offers solace and a sense of purpose to those seeking spiritual connection. Furthermore, Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, and Dhyana Yoga, the path of meditation, are also expounded. These paths emphasize the cultivation of wisdom through introspection, discrimination, and focused contemplation to realize the ultimate truth. The Gita doesn't advocate for one path over others, but suggests a harmonious blend, recognizing that individuals may find their truth through different avenues. The eternal story of the Gita lies not just in its profound philosophical insights, but in its compassionate pragmatism. It doesn't demand asceticism or withdrawal from the world. Instead, it offers a blueprint for living a fulfilling life within the world, engaged in one's duties, yet unburdened by attachment and ego. It teaches that the battlefield of Kurukshetra is a metaphor for the internal struggles we all face, the constant battle between our higher and lower selves, between duty and desire. Centuries have passed since the chariot wheels first turned on Kurukshetra, yet the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita continues to illuminate countless lives. Its eternal story serves as a perennial guide, offering solace in times of doubt, courage in the face of adversity, and a roadmap to lasting peace and purpose in the ever-unfolding drama of human existence. Beyond the Walls, the timeless lessons of the fall of Gondolin. J.R. Tolkien's The Fall of Gondolin stands not merely as a fantastical tale of elves, dragons, and epic battles, but as a profound exploration of human nature, the cyclical nature of hubris and destruction, and the enduring power of hope and courage. While presented as a collection of evolving narratives rather than a single polished novel, its very structure offers a unique lens into the creative process and the timeless lessons embedded within Tolkien's sprawling mythology. At its heart, The Fall of Gondolin is a tragedy born of isolation and misplaced trust. The city of Gondolin itself is a marvel, a hidden elven kingdom of unparalleled beauty and craftsmanship, conceived as a sanctuary from the encroaching darkness of Morgoth. Yet this very isolation, born of King Turgon's unwavering belief in its impregnability, proves to be its undoing. The narrative powerfully illustrates the perils of complacency, of believing that physical walls and secrecy can eternally ward off a relentless evil. Turgon's refusal to heed Ulmo's warnings to abandon the city and strike out against Morgoth, a decision heavily influenced by the treacherous Maeglin, sets the stage for the inevitable catastrophe. This serves as a potent reminder that even the most beautiful and seemingly secure havens can be vulnerable to internal weakness and external pressure if vigilance and adaptability are forsaken. The character of Maeglin is a stark embodiment of betrayal and the corrupting influence of envy and unrequited desire. His actions, driven by a twisted longing for Idril and a thirst for power, highlight how internal discord and moral failings can be as destructive, if not more so, than any external enemy. Maeglin's treachery resonates with universal themes of the destructive power of covetousness and the seductive allure of siding with evil for personal gain. His downfall underscores the idea that choices, even those made in the shadow of perceived injustice, have far-reaching and devastating consequences. Conversely, the story showcases the indomitable spirit of courage and sacrifice. Tuor, a mortal man sent by Ulmo, represents a beacon of hope and an outsider's perspective. His journey to Gondolin, his prophetic warnings, and his valiant efforts during the siege exemplify heroism in the face of overwhelming odds. The defenders of Gondolin, despite their inevitable defeat, fight with extraordinary bravery, facing Balrogs, dragons, and legions of orcs with unwavering resolve. Their last stand, though tragic, is etched with acts of immense valor, demonstrating that true strength lies not always in victory, but in the willingness to resist evil, even when the outcome seems predetermined. This resonates deeply with the human experience, reminding us that even in despair, the choice to fight for what is right holds intrinsic value. Furthermore, The Fall of Gondolin offers a fascinating glimpse into Tolkien's evolving creative process. As Christopher Tolkien's meticulously compiled edition reveals, the story underwent numerous revisions and conceptual shifts over the decades. This multi-layered presentation allows readers to witness the very act of mythmaking, observing how themes, characters, and plot points were refined and reimagined. It underscores the organic nature of storytelling and the dedication required to build a consistent and expansive fictional world. For aspiring writers and literary enthusiasts, this meta-narrative provides invaluable insight into the sheer depth of Tolkien's imagination and his relentless pursuit of the perfect narrative. Finally, the sheer beauty of Tolkien's prose, even in its earlier forms, is undeniable. His descriptions of Gondolin's architecture, its vibrant life, and the horrific grandeur of its destruction are rich with evocative imagery and a sense of profound loss. The battle sequences are rendered with a vividness that transports the reader directly into the heart of the conflict, making the tragedy of Gondolin's fall all the more poignant. This masterful use of language elevates The Fall of Gondolin beyond a mere historical account within a fictional world, transforming it into a work of art that resonates with the timeless human emotions of love, loss, courage, and despair. In conclusion, The Fall of Gondolin is far more than an ancient tale from Middle-earth's first age. It is a deeply resonant narrative, brimming with lessons on the dangers of isolation and hubris, the corrupting influence of betrayal, and the enduring power of courage and sacrifice. Its layered presentation, courtesy of Christopher Tolkien, offers a unique educational experience into the very genesis of a literary masterpiece. Through its elaborate beauty and timeless themes, The Fall of Gondolin remains a powerful and unforgettable testament to the genius of J.R.R. Tolkien and the enduring relevance of his mythology. When Minds Collide, WandaVision's profound debate on being vision. The climactic encounter between Wanda's magically constructed vision and the S-doubled reanimated White Vision at the end of WandaVision was far more than a typical superhero brawl. It was a profound philosophical debate that proved to be a surprisingly worthwhile sentiment. Rather than devolve into an explosion of powers, the scene offered a thoughtful exploration of identity, memory, and consciousness, elevating the show's intellectual and emotional resonance. At the heart of their exchange lies the Ship of Theseus paradox. Wanda's vision, a construct of her grief and longing, poses the question to the newly reactivated, colorless husk of the original vision. If all the planks of a ship are replaced, is it still the same ship? This ancient philosophical thought experiment, applied to two beings who share a common origin but possess different experiences and even different physical forms, forces both characters, and by extension the audience, to grapple with the very essence of what makes a being themselves. For White Vision, stripped of his memories and reduced to a weapon, the paradox is a direct challenge to his perceived lack of identity. He has Vision's body, but none of the lived experience that made him unique. Wanda's vision, on the other hand, is a living embodiment of those memories and experiences, yet he knows he is not the original. Their debate isn't about physical supremacy, but about which of them holds the claim to being Vision. The brilliance of this scene lies in its subversion of superhero tropes. Instead of punching their way to a resolution, they talk. They engage in a battle of wits, dissecting the very concept of self. This intellectual sparring is precisely what Vision, as a synthezoid with an advanced intellect, would logically resort to. It aligns perfectly with his character and provides a satisfying payoff for a series that consistently blended sitcom absurdity with deep emotional and philosophical undertones. Furthermore, the resolution of their debate is deeply meaningful. Wanda's vision, recognizing that the white vision possesses the potential for consciousness, offers him a pathway to his past by restoring his memories. This act of selflessness, even as Wanda's fabricated reality crumbles around him, underscores the true nature of the vision that Wanda created. Not just a figment of her imagination, but a being capable of empathy and intellectual generosity. When White Vision finally declares, "I am Vision," it's not simply a statement of recognition, but a reclamation of his personhood, spurred by a profound philosophical awakening. This scene served as a vital piece in the larger tapestry of WandaVision's themes. The entire show revolved around grief and reality, and the vision-on-vision debate allowed for a nuanced exploration of how identity can be intertwined with memory, even for artificial beings. It provided a satisfying emotional conclusion for Wanda's vision, who ultimately chose to help his other self rather than fight him, and offered a compelling new direction for White Vision, transforming him from a blank slate into a character with immense potential. In a genre often criticized for prioritizing spectacle over substance, the Vision meeting himself scene stands out as a testament to intelligent storytelling. It was a worthwhile sentiment because it dared to be different, choosing philosophical depth over brute force, and in doing so enriched the narrative, honored the characters, and left a lasting impression on audiences. Beyond the interface, the ancient art of thought-to-thought communication. In the sprawling cyberpunk landscapes of Ghost in the Shell, the concept of direct neural communication, where individuals can talk to each other with their thoughts, is a pervasive and foundational element. This telepathic interaction, facilitated by advanced cybernetic implants and network integration, allows for an instantaneous, unfiltered exchange of ideas, emotions, and even sensory experiences. It represents a pinnacle of human-computer interaction, collapsing the traditional barriers of language and physical proximity. When we consider our current technological reality, the closest, most fundamental analog to this thought-to-thought communication lies not in our burgeoning digital tools, but in the timeless acts of reading and writing. At first glance, the comparison might seem a stretch. Ghost in the Shell presents a world where minds can merge, where data flows directly from one consciousness to another, bypassing the need for spoken words or even explicit gestures. Reading, on the other hand, is a solitary act of deciphering symbols on a page or screen, a process that requires effort, interpretation, and time. Writing is equally laborious, a deliberate crafting of words to convey a message. Yet the essence of communication, the transfer of an idea from one mind to another, remains the core function, and in this regard, reading and writing serve as our most profound and intimate form of mental communion. Consider the act of reading. When we engage with a book, an article, or even a simple text message, we are, in a very real sense, allowing another person's thoughts to enter our own minds. The author has meticulously arranged words, sentences, and paragraphs to construct a specific idea, argument, or narrative. As we read, we actively reconstruct that thought within our own consciousness, guided by the author's linguistic blueprint. There's a subtle but powerful synchronicity that occurs. The author's mental landscape imbued in the text begins to resonate within the reader's mind. We can experience their emotions, follow their logic, and even glimpse their perspective, all without a single spoken word. This silent dialogue, though mediated by external symbols, is remarkably close to the direct neural transfer seen in Ghost in the Shell, albeit slower and requiring active participation. Similarly, writing is the inverse, yet equally potent form of this mental projection. When we write, we are attempting to externalize our internal world, to translate the complex tapestry of our thoughts, feelings, and knowledge into a form that others can access. We select words with care, structure our arguments, and craft our narratives with the intent of eliciting a specific response or understanding in the reader. This act is a deliberate effort to bridge the chasm between individual minds. While it lacks the immediacy of the cybernetic interfaces in Ghost in the Shell, writing is a profound act of sharing consciousness, allowing our ideas to transcend the limitations of our physical presence and reach into the minds of others, even across vast distances and spans of time. Furthermore, both reading and writing, like the neural communication in Ghost in the Shell, necessitate a degree of shared understanding and a common language. Just as the characters in the anime rely on compatible cybernetic interfaces and a shared network, readers and writers rely on a shared linguistic framework. This common ground allows for the interpretation of symbols and the reconstruction of meaning. When an author's words resonate deeply with a reader, it's a testament to the power of this shared mental space, a moment where individual consciousnesses align through the medium of language. In conclusion, while the advanced telepathic communication depicted in Ghost in the Shell remains firmly in the realm of science fiction, the fundamental human desire to connect and share thoughts directly is timeless. Our current reality, devoid of direct neural interfaces, finds its closest approximation in the ancient and enduring practices of reading and writing. These acts, though seemingly mundane in their physical execution, are powerful conduits for the transfer of ideas and emotions, allowing us to talk to each other with our thoughts across the boundaries of time and space, much like the cybernetically enhanced inhabitants of Section 9. They are a testament to the enduring human capacity for empathy, understanding, and the profound need to connect our inner worlds. Red Pill, Blue Pill, The Matrix, Buddhism, and the Quantum Quest for Reality. Quantum physics has revealed a universe far stranger and more interconnected than classical science ever imagined. At its core, the observer effect, entanglement, and the probabilistic nature of reality suggests that consciousness is not a mere byproduct of matter, but may play a fundamental role in shaping what we perceive as real. This profound revelation echoes ancient spiritual traditions that have long posited the illusory nature of the material world and the interconnectedness of all things. When we look at the striking parallels between the Wachowskis' cinematic masterpiece, The Matrix, and the philosophical tenets of Buddhism, we find a compelling and accessible narrative that visualizes these abstract concepts. Furthermore, these connections offer a unique lens through which to explore the profound implications of quantum reality for theology as a whole, challenging traditional notions of creation, divine interaction, and the very fabric of existence. At its core, The Matrix presents a world where humanity unknowingly lives within a sophisticated simulation, a grand illusion created by sentient machines. This central premise resonates deeply with the Buddhist concept of samsara, the cyclical existence of suffering, perpetuated by ignorance and attachment to an illusory reality. In Buddhism, the material world, with its fleeting pleasures and pains, is not ultimate reality but a realm of appearances, a product of our minds and karmic conditioning. The film's Blue Pill represents the willingness to remain within this comfortable illusion, clinging to a fabricated reality, much like an individual trapped in samsara, unwilling to confront the deeper truths of existence. The suffering experienced by humans in the Matrix, the feeling that something is wrong with the world, is akin to the Buddhist recognition of dukkha, suffering, dissatisfaction, as an inherent aspect of conditioned existence. Neo, the protagonist, embodies the archetype of the bodhisattva, an enlightened being who chooses to delay their own nirvana to help others achieve liberation. His journey begins with a fundamental questioning of reality, a burgeoning awareness that the world he perceives is not truly real. This mirrors the initial stages of Buddhist practice, where one begins to investigate the nature of phenomena and recognize the impermanence and non-self of all things. Morpheus, with his cryptic pronouncements and unwavering belief in Neo's potential, acts as the guru or spiritual guide, leading Neo out of the simulated world and into a deeper understanding of the true nature of reality. His offering of the red pill is a symbolic invitation to spiritual awakening, a call to transcend the illusion and embrace the challenging, yet liberating, truth. The concept of emptiness, sunyata, is powerfully visualized in The Matrix. While often misunderstood as nihilism, sunyata in Buddhism refers to the idea that all phenomena are devoid of inherent, independent existence. They are empty of a fixed, unchanging self. In The Matrix, the physical world within the simulation is literally empty of true substance. It's lines of code, an elaborate program. When Neo begins to perceive the Matrix as flowing green code, he is experiencing a form of emptiness, seeing beyond the solid appearances to the underlying, impermanent, and interdependent nature of reality. His ability to manipulate the matrix and to defy its rules stems from his understanding that these rules are not fundamental laws of the universe, but programmed limitations. This mirrors the Buddhist insight that by realizing the emptiness of phenomena, one can transcend the limitations of conventional reality and achieve a state of liberation and spontaneous action. Furthermore, the film touches upon karma and rebirth. The agents constantly pursuing and seemingly reincarnating within the matrix can be seen as manifestations of negative karma, the relentless consequences of clinging to the illusion and perpetuating the system of control. Humanity's passive existence within the pods, feeding the machines, could be interpreted as a form of karmic entrapment, where past actions or inaction have led to their current state of servitude. Neo's awakening, his active resistance, and his ultimate sacrifice represent the breaking of this karmic cycle, leading to the potential for collective liberation. Beyond its explicit Buddhist parallels, the Matrix serves as a potent metaphorical bridge to understanding the intersection of quantum physics and theology altogether. If quantum mechanics suggests that reality is not fixed and objective but emerges through observation and interaction, how does this redefine our understanding of a creator God? Traditional theology often posits a transcendent God who creates a fully formed, objective universe. However, if reality is fundamentally probabilistic and interactive, then perhaps divine creation is an ongoing, dynamic process intimately intertwined with consciousness itself. This opens avenues for exploring concepts like panentheism, where God is not just outside the universe but also intimately within it, permeating all existence. If consciousness plays a role in collapsing quantum wave functions and shaping reality, then perhaps the mind of God is not merely an external architect but the very ground of being, the universal consciousness from which all particular consciousness arises. The agents in the matrix, though antagonists, represent a form of inherent programming or destiny within the system, echoing the concept of a divine order or a preordained fate in some theological frameworks. Neo's ability to transcend these rules suggests a theological emphasis on free will and the capacity for liberation from even divinely imposed structures. Moreover, the idea of a simulated reality as presented in the Matrix introduces a fascinating thought experiment for theology. What if our perceived reality is a simulation? This doesn't necessarily negate the existence of a God, but shifts our understanding of his relationship to creation. Perhaps God is the programmer, or even the ultimate reality beyond the simulation, and our journey within this matrix is a test, a learning experience, or a means to achieve a higher state of consciousness. This perspective could reconcile seemingly contradictory theological doctrines by suggesting different layers of reality, some more fundamental than others. In conclusion, The Matrix is far more than a sci-fi blockbuster. It is a cinematic modern-day sutra, a compelling visual metaphor for profound Buddhist philosophical principles. It effectively translates complex ideas like samsara, dukkha, sunyata, and the path to liberation into an accessible narrative. More broadly, its exploration of a simulated reality, alongside the revelations of quantum physics, compels theology to re-examine its foundational assumptions about reality, consciousness, and the nature of the divine. The film and quantum theory together invite us to consider a universe that is not a static, predetermined stage, but a dynamic, interconnected, and potentially illusory realm where consciousness plays a pivotal role, challenging us to seek freedom not just in the world, but from the very conception of what we believe the world to be. Conclusion. The act of inspiration is a peculiar and potent magic, a force that transcends the material and touches the very core of what it means to be human. When we truly inspire someone, we don't just offer advice or encouragement. We bestow upon them a gift that neither heaven nor earth could purchase. It's a present beyond monetary value, beyond earthly possessions, and even beyond the most sublime celestial rewards. Consider the nature of this extraordinary gift. Unlike tangible objects, inspiration isn't subject to decay or loss. It doesn't diminish with time. Rather, it often grows and deepens as the inspired individual acts upon its impulse. A piece of jewelry can be stolen, a house can burn, but the spark of inspiration, once ignited, becomes an intrinsic part of a person's being. It fuels their dreams, ignites their passions, and empowers them to overcome obstacles they once deemed insurmountable. This gift is also unique in its ability to transform perspective. When someone is truly inspired, their world shifts. What once seemed impossible now appears within reach. Doubts that gnawed at their confidence begin to dissipate, replaced by a nascent belief in their own capabilities. It's like being handed a new pair of glasses that enable them to see possibilities they were previously blind to. This newfound clarity and self-belief are priceless, for they unlock potential that might otherwise lie dormant and undiscovered. Furthermore, inspiration often carries with it the precious gift of purpose. In a world that can sometimes feel aimless or overwhelming, to be inspired is to find a compass, a guiding star. It imbues actions with meaning and gives direction to efforts. Whether it's inspiring an artist to create, a student to learn, an activist to advocate, or an individual to simply live more fully, the gift of purpose provides a profound sense of fulfillment that no earthly treasure can replicate. This sense of direction can be the bedrock upon which a life of passion and impact is built. And unlike gifts that demand reciprocation, the gift of inspiration is given freely and flourishes in its diffusion. The inspirer doesn't diminish their own light by igniting another's. Instead, both lights shine brighter. The ripple effect of inspiration is profound, as the newly inspired often go on to inspire others, creating a virtuous cycle of positive influence. This makes the act of inspiring a truly selfless and enduring contribution, leaving a legacy far more significant than any material inheritance. In essence, when we inspire someone, we give them the invaluable currency of hope, belief, and the courage to pursue their highest self. We offer them a glimpse of their own potential, a whisper of what they are truly capable of achieving. This isn't something that can be manufactured, bought, or even granted by divine decree. It arises from genuine human connection, from seeing the inherent worth and possibility in another, and from sharing a piece of one's own passion and conviction. It is, without a doubt, a gift that transcends all earthly and celestial valuations, a testament to the profound power of human connection and the boundless capacity for good within us all. 2. Nobleness and human potential. Introduction. We stand at a precipice, gazing out at the vast, ever-expanding horizons of human potential. Each sunrise brings with it new opportunities, new discoveries, and new avenues for success. But what kind of success do we truly aspire to? Is it merely the accumulation of personal wealth, the ascendancy to individual power, or the fleeting glory of short-lived fame? Or is there a deeper, more profound form of success that beckons us, one rooted in nobleness, a success that reverberates not just through the life of an individual, but outward, touching every corner of our world, and perhaps even the universe beyond? The allure of individual triumph. For centuries, the narrative of success has been largely individualistic. We celebrate the self-made billionaire, the visionary inventor, the charismatic leader who rises above the masses. Our stories, our media, and our educational systems often reinforce the idea that personal achievement is the ultimate measure of a life well lived. And there's a certain undeniable allure to this. The drive to innovate, overcome challenges, and leave a personal mark on the world is a powerful motivator. It fuels progress and pushes the boundaries of what's possible. Yet when success is pursued solely for personal gain, it often leaves a trail of unintended consequences. We've witnessed industries flourish at the expense of our planet, technological marvels emerge while societal divides deepen, and individual fortunes amass amidst widespread suffering. This kind of success, while impressive in its scope, often lacks the essential ingredient of nobleness. Redefining success, a global imperative. True success, I believe, must transcend the narrow confines of the self. It must be interwoven with the fabric of collective well-being. Imagine a world where every scientific breakthrough isn't just patented for profit, but freely shared to eradicate disease globally. Envision economies that thrive not by exploiting resources and labor, but by fostering sustainable practices and equitable distribution. Picture leaders whose power is measured not by their ability to dominate, but by their capacity to unite and uplift all people. This is the essence of noble success, a success that inherently seeks to elevate, to heal, and to harmonize. This isn't a utopian fantasy, it's a pragmatic necessity. Our world is more interconnected than ever before. A pandemic in one corner of the globe quickly becomes a global crisis. Economic instability in one nation ripples through international markets. Environmental degradation in one region impacts the climate for all. In such a tightly interwoven tapestry, the notion of purely individual success becomes increasingly fragile and ultimately unsustainable. My success cannot truly flourish if it comes at the expense of your fundamental needs. Our shared humanity demands a more expansive definition of achievement. The ripple effect, from Earth to the stars. The concept of noble success stretches beyond our terrestrial sphere, hinting at a universal responsibility. If humanity ever achieves the capability of interstellar travel, or if we encounter other intelligent life, what kind of emissaries will we be? Will we carry the baggage of past inequities and selfish pursuits, or will we present ourselves as a civilization that has learned the profound lesson of collective thriving? Our aspirations for the cosmos should reflect our highest ideals, not our basest instincts. A truly successful humanity would be one that approaches the universe not with a conqueror's ambition, but with the wisdom of a species that has mastered self-governance and global stewardship. Consider the immense potential of such a future. Imagine our collective scientific endeavors focus not on weapons of war, but on unlocking the secrets of the universe for the benefit of all sentient beings. Picture our technological prowess harnessed to terraform barren planets not for exclusive ownership, but to expand the reach of life itself. This grand vision of success, one that extends its benevolent reach across the cosmos, can only be built upon a foundation of nobleness cultivated here on Earth. Cultivating nobleness in every endeavor. So how do we cultivate this deeper, more resonant form of success? It begins with a fundamental shift in our individual mindsets. It means asking, with every decision, every innovation, every pursuit, how does this benefit not just me, but the greater good? It involves prioritizing collaboration over ruthless competition, empathy over apathy, and long-term sustainability over short-term gains. It requires us to challenge systems that perpetuate inequality and to advocate for policies that uplift the most vulnerable among us. It's about choosing to be a force for good, not just a force for personal advancement. Whether you are an artist, an engineer, an educator, a business leader, or a parent, every action holds the potential for noble impact. It's in the small acts of kindness that ripple outward, the conscious decisions to consume ethically, the tireless efforts to advocate for justice, and the selfless dedication to a cause larger than oneself. Conclusion. The path to noble success is undoubtedly more challenging, more demanding, and often less immediately gratifying than the pursuit of individual glory. It requires sacrifice, humility, and an unwavering commitment to a vision that extends far beyond our own lifespans. But the rewards are immeasurable. A world more just, a planet more vibrant, and a humanity truly worthy of its boundless potential, reaching not just for individual peaks, but for the collective summit of a noble future. A future that resonates with harmony across our world and into the grand tapestry of the universe. What steps can you take today, no matter how small, to contribute to this grander vision of success? 3. Echoes of Eternity, Reflections on Our World and Our Spirit, from Exploitation to Stewardship, Reclaiming Our Connection to the Sea. In the relentless pursuit of progress, humanity has in many ways declared war on Mother Nature. Our insatiable consumption, industrial might, and burgeoning populations have pushed ecosystems to the brink, leaving us with the disquieting sense that we have Mother Nature on the run. Yet this perception of separation, of an us versus them mentality, is perhaps the most dangerous illusion of all. There is no fundamental divide between humanity and the natural world, and nowhere is this interconnectedness more profoundly evident than in our relationship with the vast, life-giving oceans. For centuries, we viewed the oceans as an inexhaustible resource and an infinite waste dump. We plundered their depths for food, extracted their fossil fuels, and used their currents to carry away our refuse, all under the misguided belief that their sheer scale rendered them immune to our impact. We saw them as a separate entity, a distant blue expanse that held no bearing on our urban jungles or agricultural lands. This hubris has led to a cascade of environmental crises, towering gyres of plastic suffocating marine life, coral reefs bleaching into skeletal remains, and fish stocks plummeting to alarming lows. The very air we breathe is losing its vitality as the oceans, our primary carbon sinks, struggle to absorb the ever-increasing burden of our emissions. The truth, however, is far simpler and more urgent. We are the oceans, and the oceans are us. Every raindrop that falls on our rooftops, every breath of oxygen we inhale, every weather pattern that dictates our seasons is intricately linked to the health of our marine environments. The plankton in the sea produce more than half of the world's oxygen, making them the silent, indispensable lungs of our planet. The ocean's currents regulate global temperatures, distributing heat and influencing climates far inland. The delicate balance of marine ecosystems underpins the very stability of our global climate, impacting everything from agricultural yields to the intensity of storms. When we pollute the oceans, we are in essence polluting ourselves. Microplastics ingested by marine life ascend the food chain, ultimately finding their way onto our plates. Toxins discharged into coastal waters bioaccumulate, leading to health issues in communities far removed from the immediate source. The destruction of mangrove forests and coral reefs, natural barriers against storm surges, leaves coastal populations vulnerable to the escalating power of a changing climate. The illusion of separation allows us to externalize the consequences of our actions, but reality consistently demonstrates that what happens to the ocean inevitably ripples back to us. The time has come to shed the dangerous myth of human exceptionalism and embrace our fundamental belonging to the natural world. Recognizing that Mother Nature is not an external entity to be conquered, but an intricate web of life of which we are an integral part, is the first step towards healing. This realization is particularly critical when it comes to our oceans. We must transition from exploitation to stewardship, from viewing them as a boundless resource to recognizing them as the beating heart of our planet. This means investing in sustainable fishing practices, drastically reducing plastic consumption, curbing greenhouse gas emissions, and protecting vital marine habitats. The notion that Mother Nature is on the run implies a race, a battle we might win. But in this race, there are no winners if nature loses. Our fate is inextricably intertwined with hers. Our beautiful oceans, once seen as distant and separate, are a mirror reflecting our own health and vitality. Only by understanding and embracing this profound connection can we hope to restore balance, not just for the oceans, but for the very future of humanity itself. Wishing for the eternal, blessings beyond the ephemeral. To wish someone well is a common human impulse, often expressed through hopes for health, happiness, or prosperity. Yet a truly profound blessing transcends the ephemeral, touching upon something deeper and more lasting. One of the greatest aspirations we can hold for another is that everything they gain in life be of a particular divine and eternal nature. This is not a wish for earthly riches or fleeting fame, but for acquisitions that resonate with the soul, contributing to an enduring spiritual wealth that no circumstance can diminish. Consider the ephemeral nature of material possessions. While they may bring temporary comfort or joy, they are subject to decay, loss, and the relentless march of time. Similarly, accomplishments, however grand, eventually fade into history. But to gain something of a divine and eternal nature implies an acquisition of wisdom, compassion, true understanding, and an unshakable connection to the deeper truths of existence. It suggests that their successes are not merely personal victories, but moments of grace, insights that expand their consciousness, and relationships built on unconditional love rather than conditional exchange. The thought of such a blessing immediately brings to mind the incredible rendition of America the Beautiful by Ray Charles. His performance is far more than a musical interpretation. It is a spiritual invocation. He doesn't just sing the words, he embodies the very essence of yearning, resilience, and a profound, almost sacred love for something greater than himself. His voice, imbued with a lifetime of experience and soul, transforms a patriotic anthem into a universal hymn of gratitude and aspiration. It's a testament to how something created in the material world, a song, a performance, can transcend its physical form and touch upon the eternal, resonating with a divine quality that lifts the spirit and unifies listeners in a shared moment of profound beauty. To wish someone such gains is to wish them a life lived not for accumulation but for elevation. It's a desire that their journey be marked by profound moments of recognition, where they see the divine in the mundane, the eternal in the fleeting. It is to hope that their actions are guided by compassion, their insights illuminate darkness, and their legacy is built not on what they owned, but on the enduring good they brought into the world. In essence, it is to wish them a life of true purpose, where every gain, big or small, serves to enrich their spirit and contribute to the eternal fabric of being, much like the timeless and soul-stirring power of Ray Charles's unforgettable artistry. I-4, Science and Technology. Giordano Bruno, a martyr for the infinite universe. Giordano Bruno, 1548 to 1600, stands as a monumental figure from the Renaissance, an Italian philosopher, poet, astrologer, and cosmological theorist whose radical ideas dared to stretch beyond the confines of his era's conventional thought. While Copernicus had cautiously proposed a sun-centered solar system, Bruno plunged headfirst into a vastly more expansive vision. He posited that the stars twinkling in the night sky were not mere points of light, but distant suns, each potentially orbited by its own retinue of planets, some perhaps teeming with life. More audaciously still, he insisted upon an infinite universe, devoid of any single center, a concept that shattered the prevailing finite, Earth, or even sun-centric models of his time. His cosmological imagination painted a picture remarkably prescient of our modern understanding of the cosmos. However, Bruno's profound insights were deeply intertwined with a fervent mysticism and pantheistic beliefs, the radical notion that God is not separate from, but identical with, the universe itself. These unorthodox views, coupled with his rejection of core Catholic doctrines like eternal damnation, the Trinity, and the divinity of Christ, inevitably brought him into a fatal collision with the formidable power of the Roman Inquisition. After a grueling 8-year trial, Bruno steadfastly refused to recant his convictions. For this unwavering commitment to his intellectual and spiritual truth, he was condemned as a heretic and, on February 17, 1600, burned at the stake in Rome's Campo de' Fiori. His fiery death, intended as a stark deterrent, ironically cemented his legacy as far more than just a dissenting scholar. Giordano Bruno became a powerful symbol of the freedom of thought, a martyr for intellectual and scientific inquiry, bravely confronting the oppressive weight of religious dogma. His tragic end served as a chilling reminder of the severe consequences that could arise from challenging established paradigms, echoing through the centuries as a cautionary tale for those who dared to question. Ultimately, Bruno's sacrifice and daring vision had a profound, if indirect, effect on humanity and its societal evolution. By pushing the boundaries of the known universe and challenging anthropocentric views, he helped lay intellectual groundwork that would slowly, painstakingly lead to the scientific revolution. His insistence on an infinite, pluralistic cosmos subtly eroded the rigid theological frameworks that had long constrained human understanding, making space for new forms of inquiry and discovery. Though his specific scientific theories lacked empirical backing at the time, his spirit of intellectual liberation inspired later thinkers to pursue knowledge wherever it might lead, regardless of dogmatic opposition. He fueled the very impulse to question, explore, and imagine beyond the immediate horizon of human perception. This slow, arduous process of freeing human thought from intellectual shackles has allowed societies to flourish, technology to advance, and our collective understanding of reality to deepen. His story stands as a timeless testament to the enduring human spirit's quest for truth and the often perilous yet ultimately rewarding journey of expanding consciousness. In our own era, this drive to comprehend the universe, to unravel its deepest mysteries and push the boundaries of what's possible, continues unabated. Just as Bruno sought to understand the infinite cosmos, we now stand at the precipice of another transformative leap in human understanding and capability, one that promises to redefine the very nature of computation and our interaction with reality itself. We are, in a sense, building new instruments to explore the universe Bruno so passionately envisioned. This leads us to the fascinating frontier of quantum computing. Quantum computing introduction. Quantum computing represents a paradigm shift in computation, moving beyond the classical bits of zeros and ones to harness the perplexing yet powerful principles of quantum mechanics. While still in its nascent stages, The field promises to revolutionize our ability to solve problems currently intractable for even the most powerful supercomputers. Understanding quantum computing requires delving into its fundamental concepts, exploring its potential applications, acknowledging its significant challenges, and appreciating the rapid advancements being made in research and development. The quantum leap, how it works. At the heart of quantum computing lies the qubit, the quantum analog of a classical bit. Unlike a bit, which can only exist in a state of 0 or 1, a qubit can exist in a superposition of both 0 and 1 simultaneously. This ability to be in multiple states at once is a direct consequence of quantum mechanics and is the first key to quantum computing's power. Imagine a coin spinning in the air. It's neither heads nor tails until it lands. A qubit in superposition is much like that spinning coin. The second fundamental principle is quantum entanglement. This phenomenon occurs when two or more qubits become intrinsically linked, such that the state of one qubit instantaneously influences the state of the others, regardless of the physical distance separating them. This bizarre, spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, allows quantum computers to perform operations on multiple entangled qubits simultaneously, leading to an exponential increase in processing power. If you know the state of one entangled qubit, you immediately know something about the others. Finally, quantum interference plays a crucial role. Just as waves can interfere constructively or destructively, quantum states can interfere with each other. Quantum algorithms are designed to exploit this interference, amplifying the correct solutions and canceling out incorrect ones, thus efficiently navigating the vast landscape of possibilities that superposition and entanglement create. When a quantum state is measured, the superposition collapses and the qubit settles into a definite state, either 0 or 1, yielding the computation's result. What we know about its capabilities, applications. The unique properties of qubits enable quantum computers to tackle certain types of problems that are beyond the reach of classical computers. While not a universal replacement for traditional computing, quantum computing excels in specific domains. Materials science and drug discovery, simulating molecular interactions with high precision, is incredibly complex for classical computers due to the quantum nature of atoms and molecules. Quantum computers can model these interactions accurately, accelerating the discovery of new drugs, designing novel materials with tailored properties, e.g. superconductors, better batteries, and optimizing chemical processes for efficiency and sustainability. Optimization problems. Many real-world challenges, from logistics and supply chain management to financial modeling and traffic control, boil down to finding the optimal solution among an enormous number of possibilities. Quantum algorithms like quantum annealing can efficiently explore these vast solution spaces, potentially leading to breakthroughs in areas like resource allocation, route planning, and portfolio optimization. Cryptography and cybersecurity. The very principles that make our current encryption methods secure, e.g. factoring large numbers, are vulnerable to quantum algorithms like Shor's algorithm. This poses a significant future threat to data security. However, quantum computing also offers solutions in the form of quantum cryptography, e.g. quantum key distribution, which leverages quantum mechanics to create provably secure communication channels. This is a critical area of research to develop quantum-resistant cryptography. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. Quantum computers can potentially accelerate certain machine learning tasks, particularly those involving large, high-dimensional data sets. Quantum machine learning algorithms could lead to more powerful AI models for pattern recognition, image processing, and complex data analysis, with applications ranging from medical diagnostics to financial fraud detection. Financial modeling. Quantum computers can revolutionize financial institutions' ability to analyze and scale investments and securities. Their advanced modeling capabilities promise to reduce risks, optimize large portfolios, and better understand global financial trends and movements. The current state of research and development. Quantum computing is no longer a purely theoretical concept. It's a rapidly advancing field with significant investment from governments and private companies worldwide. We are currently in what is often called the noisy intermediate scale quantum NISQ era, where quantum computers have tens to hundreds of qubits but are still prone to errors. Key aspects of the current landscape include hardware development. Researchers are exploring various qubit technologies, each with its own advantages and challenges. Superconducting qubits used by IBM and Google, trapped ions, IonQ, Honeywell, photonic qubits, and topological qubits are among the leading contenders. The focus is on increasing the number of stable, high-quality qubits and improving their connectivity and coherence times, how long they maintain their quantum properties. Error correction. Due to the extreme fragility of qubits, errors are a major hurdle. Developing robust quantum error correction techniques is paramount for building fault-tolerant quantum computers that can perform reliable computations despite noise. This is an active area of research, often requiring a large number of physical qubits to encode a single logical qubit. Scalability. Building quantum computers with enough qubits to tackle truly complex problems is an enormous engineering challenge. As the number of qubits increases, so does the difficulty of maintaining their coherence and controlling their interactions. Software and algorithm development. Alongside hardware advancements, there's a growing need for quantum algorithms tailored to specific problems and software platforms that make quantum computing accessible to a wider range of users. Cloud-based quantum computing services offered by companies like IBM, Google, and Amazon are making quantum hardware available to researchers and developers. Investment and collaboration. The quantum industry is seeing surging investment, with governments committing billions and pure-play quantum companies emerging alongside established tech giants. The United Nations has even designated 2025 as the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, reflecting the growing global interest and collaboration in this field. Challenges on the horizon. Despite the incredible progress, quantum computing faces significant obstacles before it can realize its full potential. Decoherence. Qubits are incredibly sensitive to their environment. Even the slightest interaction with external factors, like stray electromagnetic fields or thermal fluctuations, can cause them to lose their fragile quantum state, leading to errors. Maintaining qubit coherence for sufficient periods is a fundamental challenge. Error rates. Current quantum computers have high error rates. While quantum error correction is being developed, it's resource-intensive, meaning a vast number of physical qubits are needed to create a single reliable logical qubit. Achieving fault-tolerant quantum computation remains a significant engineering feat. Scalability. Building large-scale quantum computers with millions of interconnected qubits is a monumental challenge. The intricate cooling systems, often required to operate at temperatures near absolute zero, and control electronics become increasingly complex with more qubits. Algorithm development. While a few powerful quantum algorithms exist, like Shor's and Grover's, developing new algorithms that can fully exploit quantum mechanics for a broader range of practical problems is an ongoing research area. Cost and accessibility. Quantum computers are incredibly expensive to build and maintain, and the specialized expertise required to operate them is scarce. While cloud access is democratizing the technology, widespread adoption remains constrained by cost and the need for specialized knowledge. Conclusion. Quantum computing, built upon the enigmatic laws of superposition, entanglement, and interference, offers an unprecedented pathway to solving problems that are currently beyond our computational reach. From revolutionizing drug discovery and materials science to fundamentally altering cybersecurity and advancing artificial intelligence, its potential applications are vast and transformative. While the field is still in its early noisy stages, with significant hurdles in hardware development, error correction, and scalability, the rapid pace of research, substantial investment, and growing collaborative efforts paint a promising picture. The journey towards truly fault-tolerant, large-scale quantum computers is a marathon, not a sprint. However, the profound implications of this technology for science, industry, and society at large make it one of the most exciting and impactful frontiers in modern computation. We are not yet at the point of everyday quantum computers, but we are undeniably witnessing the birth of a new era of computation, one that promises to reshape our world in ways we are only just beginning to imagine. v. The Awakened Prince, Siddhartha's Journey to Buddhahood and the Path to Inner Peace. Introduction. This essay provides a comprehensive narrative detailing the life of Siddhartha Gautama, from his birth as a prince to his ultimate enlightenment as the Buddha. It delves into the societal context of ancient India, the personal struggles Siddhartha faced, the philosophical and spiritual currents of his time, and the profound insights he gained. While not a prescriptive manual for instant Buddhahood, it illuminates the principles and practices that led to his awakening, offering readers a deep understanding of the path and an inspiration for their own spiritual journey. The Golden Cage, Early Life of Siddhartha Gautama. Chapter 1. Prophecies and a Princely Birth. The Lumbini Grove, nestled in the Terai Plains of Nepal, holds profound significance as the sacred birthplace of Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha. It was under a sal tree in this tranquil garden around 623 BCE that Queen Maya Devi gave birth to the future enlightened one. Accounts describe the event as miraculous, with Siddhartha reportedly taking 7 steps at birth and proclaiming his future role in ending suffering. Today, Lumbini remains a revered pilgrimage site, its serene atmosphere, ancient ruins, and the Ashoka Pillar, marking the exact birthplace, drawing devotees and visitors from around the world seeking to connect with the origins of Buddhism. In the immediate aftermath of Siddhartha's birth, the wise and revered sage Asita, a revered hermit and family spiritual advisor, visited the Lumbini Grove to see the newborn prince.